The Gulen movement is one of the very few that in our world has managed to come out of the borders of one country and to actually talk to people, to, in other words, to live what it preaches, to actually show that it's possible to do it, and to cross borders and engage others and bring people together on common, universal, humanistic messages. Khaled Abou El Fadl. I'm a professor of law at UCLA School of Law, author of a number of books on Islamic theology and law. The Hizmet Movement is, in my view, an Islamically inspired, Islamically grounded movement, or Islamically rooted movement, founded on the universal and fundamental principle of peace and the essential values of Islam, peace and mercy and compassion as normative moral objectives, and that seeks to translate these principles through the dynamic of ta'aruf, the dynamic of coming to know one another, especially coming to know the other, into a reality, into a living sociological and anthropological reality. I cannot do justice to the critical importance of this thought, of Gülen's thought and theological outlook to the contemporary Muslim world, because it offers for Muslims an authentic, legitimately rooted methodology of dealing with modernity and the challenges that we exist in the modern world. And so it focuses on what you can say is the nectar of Islam, the core, the heart, the spirit of Islam itself. And it doesn't get lost in the forest. It doesn't get lost in the trees. It doesn't get lost in the massive accumulations of interpretive traditions upon interpretive traditions that. But at the same time, it is not dismissive of tradition, which is very important. It is not an arrogant movement. It is not a movement that considers itself as the exclusive voice of the divine. And so what I very much not just find attractive but compelling about Gülen's writings is his emphasis on love as a critical value, or emphasis on Islam being a state of peace, an embodiment of peace, whether peace inner or social or international, without confining this to a tariqa in itself, as in a Sufi tariqa. So it really becomes an attitude or a theology of embracing the divine and embracing all that the divine has created, embracing Allah as a transcendental creator, but considering all that God has created as valuable and worthy of love. And that type of narrative is not, unfortunately, is not heard in the modern Muslim world often. In fact, I mean, it's quite missing. It is, in my view, it is truly unfortunate and a shame that the writings of Gülen are not widespread, especially in the Arabic speaking world, which in my view is badly needs this system of thought and this way of thinking and this narrative generally. And this is again what I think is very special about the Gülen's thought and the Gülen movement in particular, is that it brings back Islam to its essential humanistic message. It's fundamental, an invitation from the divine for human beings to be human and to put that humanity, the characteristics of humanity and humanness above all. I've often wondered if instead of Islam being known to the world through the various movements that commit violence and so on, if Islam was known to the world through the thought of a Gülen-like theology, so instead of traveling around the world and you find people associating Islam with the most barbaric and cruel and harsh things, people associating Islam with the quintessential humanistic principles of mercy, compassion, love, understanding. I've often wondered what type of world it would be, because it would definitely be a much better world than the one we exist in. I would have to say the Gülen movement is one of the very few that in our world has managed to come out of the borders of one country and to actually talk to people, to, in other words, to live what it preaches, to actually show that it's possible to do it, and to cross borders and engage others and bring people together on common universal humanistic messages. From what I've observed or from my studies, it seems the Gülen movement has become far more adept at constructing serious discourses and serious dialogue that is substantive, that you can actually learn from substantively, because it encourages people to come in and bring out what is inside of them. Which, of course, I mean, unfortunately, for one of the things I remember, I had one of my students who was very read an attack on the thought of Nursi and Gülen by an Islamophobic source, and this fellow was very puzzled by it, and why are they attacking them? And what I told him, because they are more dangerous to religious bigots than the worst enemy, because if you come in from a moral paradigm, someone who's determined to live immorally will find you extremely threatening, and I think that speaks volumes in itself. That says a lot.